The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community, bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome to this week's episode of City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host, and I'm at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada, right by the river. I love being here, and I'm lucky because Christian is here. He's the engineer, phenixmedia.us. I love Christian because he's like I always say the man behind the screen. He's like the Wizard of Oz. He does it all. And there's been many times when I'm not in the same room and I'm off site, and he has to literally walk me through everything. Press that, go there, do that. Does that work? No. I'm like, So he's a genius. He's very patient and he's kind. And we're really lucky to have him. So if you've ever thought about doing a podcast or anything, Christian is your man because he's very kind and patient. He teaches. Like, you need somebody who's going to be, okay, I'm just going to skip and then I'm going to go to my sponsors. The show is about body language. And I use my hands and I move my body a lot. So I'm getting kind of a little bit nervous here. I'm thinking, do I got to hold still? But you can tell a lot by a person. I already know that because Christian, there's been many times when, you flub up or you this, and he just is so calm. And other people are like, you could just see like they're like going to scream at you. And you're like, oh no, I could tell he's going to get mad. And he never does. So I think it's really important even today more than ever to like take a step and take a breath before you react. And it's hard to do that because people can sense it when they look at you. Like, is she panicking? Is she happy? Is she this? So anyway, sponsors, really quick. I'm going to get that done. GratisGives Processing. I love these guys. Hall and Wrye Plastic Surgeons, Surratt Law Practice, Welder River Grille, Caliber Hair and Makeup. Thanks for my hair. And Dee Dee James. I love my song. And I'm just going to give a shout out right now. Grandma B, give you a big hello. Aunt Ellie, I hope you're feeling better. So those are my shout outs that I get. I want to make sure because I always want my family to know how much I love them. So, and all of you listening, I love you guys. So, body language. Hello. So, Alexanne.
Yes.
Stone. That's very solid. Alexanne Stone. Not only, she's a professional speaker, an author, a coach, body language expert. You have to tell me what NLP stands for. Trainer since 1991. What does NLP stand for?
Neuro-Linguistic programming. So it's a way of looking how your decisions, habits, and opinions are wired, especially from when you were way, way young.
Ooh.
And really had no idea what decisions you were making.
Ooh.
And those decisions, oddly enough, drive us our whole lives at the unconscious level.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was how all this started.
Well, we're going to go talk about that first. But let me ask you, how was your week? We always want to what is your typical, being an author, a coach, an expert, what is your typical week when you're not doing all that? Do you just read a book? Do you go for a walk? Do you cook with your husband? What do you do? But what's your typical week when you're not just being you?
When I'm not doing,
coaching,
I'm not working, coaching
what's your typical?
I'm reading or watching videos around body language or NLP.
So you're working.
I'm working, but it's enjoyable. It's a pleasure for me. I love it. And then the other thing is that I paint also.
Oh, see there? That's okay. What's your favorite, oils, pastel? What do you do?
Right now,
sketching?
I just started doing fluid acrylic pouring. So I love that. That is very cool.
Tell me about that.
It's so cool.
Pour.
Yeah, you get a canvas and you mix a whole bunch of paint
and just
a whole
throw
bunch
it
of
out there.
Not really. There's all different kinds of techniques to pour it, and it just makes beautiful lacing and cells. It looks like Hubble telescope pictures in many cases. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I just started doing that.
So what made you decide to pick up painting?
Well, I was an art major.
Oh, see,
see,
all these things are coming up. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I have really enjoyed color pencil. So I've done everything realistic. My work looks like a photograph. So
are you serious?
Abstract, yeah, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
in
not
awe.
kidding. I'm watching my body language while I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Okay, yeah. No, I'm not kidding.
No, I'm confused.
Yeah, no,
Is it
I'm
yes
so-
or
I
no?
know,
I don't
isn't
know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just enthralled with your energy, so I'm
This
good
is a
either
huge
way.
point, that confusion piece, because we mind read what we think we see, right?
That's not good sometimes, right? Because you assume you know what they're, so that word assume, like we all assume, like I know they're thinking that.
Yeah.
I know they are. And they're like, I was not even thinking that. And now you're frustrated with them because you thought they thought that, but they really didn't. So it caused the whole
All the emotions
mess.
come up in your body, all the stuff, but it's all completely based on, remember those decisions I was talking about? Life experiences. So you mind read it based on your life experiences.
what we assumed,
Exactly.
what we felt.
What we felt. What we think based on what we've gone through in our lives. What
Ooh,
happens
that makes sense.
is you can ask a verifying question. You can ask a clarifying question. When you see, like, I love you so much.
But that means, no, I don't.
Well, it could.
Or does it mean I have a crab in my neck?
It could mean that too. It could mean, I can't believe how much I love you.
Oh, but in a positive way, like
Yes,
you're just
that depth.
slaying, like I really love you versus I really love her.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you're just like, yeah, the whole eye contact thing too.
exactly.
Is that like a big deal?
Yeah, big deal.
The eye contact thing. So
Cultural,
I'm looking
too.
away.
Cultural.
It is cultural because in some, if you don't look at him, it's an insult.
If you do look in the eye.
Oh, it's an insult. Oh, I thought it was the
yeah.
other way around.
Depends. So
How would you know? Like what happens
You
if
have
you
to
want?
know the culture.
So before you go to a country, do you check that?
You
Like,
want to.
because what
yeah.
happens? You're like, hey, I'm a big hugger. How are you? And they're like, oh.
If you're a man and you go to a third world country or a country that's Arabian or Arabic or something like that, and you look a woman in the eye, big no. So people come over here and they're accustomed to their customs.
Yeah.
So they have to relearn how we do things in this country too.
Wow. Well, it's almost that time for our first break. That went so fast. So when we come back, I want to hear a little bit about your story, like your story, how you got into this. And then maybe when we're on break, you can like look over and see who's, we got Georgia, we got your hubby, check out. So take a peek now and then tell me what you're thinking. We'll be right back at City Talk in about 10 days.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate up to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at gratisgives.com.
After having my child, I was just thinking that I wanted to kind of get back to the size I was when I was breastfeeding. When I first came in, I didn't know if I wanted to go under or over, what size I wanted. I feel like they really took the time to educate me on all of my options. I've had a bunch of different questions. Paul himself has called and checked in with me. I was really expecting to be in a lot more pain than I was. It was a lot more pleasant than I was expecting it to be.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you.
someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. I am at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada. It's this huge building, a hidden hotspot, and it's incredible. And you totally need to come visit. Even if you're local, make it a point to come down here. So Alexanne Stone is my guest, and we've been having fun already. The first segment, we got to find out a little bit about body language. So we're going to talk about that. And then towards the end of the show, or middle of the show, we're going to talk about kick ass. I don't usually say words like that. Kick ASS, networking topics. And I love that because I'm a big networker, and I know you are. Yeah. And it's kind of what we do. That's kind of who we are, what we do. So I will be interested to learn some new techniques. But before we do that, I want to hear your story, because I like how you, on your bio where it says, cut her teeth selling Apple computers in the early days of Silicon Valley. Climbed the corporate ladder. You did all that. All this cool stuff. So tell us a little, and at the end, you're just a down-to-earth, amazing woman with a good heart. So tell us a little bit about your story and how you got into what you're doing.
Yeah, how I got into what I'm doing was really interesting. It's a little traumatic. I came from a very abusive childhood and was on survival mode from about age 5. That leaves a lot of stuff. As I grew older, I decided I needed to work on myself, so I went through therapy. And
so when you say grew old, at what age of the child? So you said it started about what age?
Well, from birth, but at 5, I really realized
then
what
you
the heck
realized
was going on.
Till what age? Before you're like...
I just didn't even... I'm married into an abusive relationship right after that. Repeated the pattern. Had abusive bosses.
Isn't that
strange? If you don't
strange?
know, not really.
No, because that's all you know.
That's all you know.
So you think it's normal.
You do. You think it's normal. I remember, this is the weirdest thing, but I remember thinking that I was the most alive when I was in an argument, a knockdown, drag-out argument with someone. That was what I realized, confirmed my aliveness. So I had a little bit of a screwed-up youth there for a while. And then I just went and started investigating channels where I could get some help. I went through therapy. I didn't find that helped a lot. I went through hypnotherapy, which was really fun.
I tried that, but I don't think I could be hypnotized.
Everyone gets hypnotized.
I don't think so.
Do you ever drive your car down the street?
Oh, and then you go...
wow, how did I even get here?
Oh, I've done
Hello.
That. Yeah.
Ever watch a television show and just go... At the end of it or the end of
That's
a movie?
because I maybe fell asleep. Not when I was driving, but...
No, but at the movie, like you get so enthralled and so engrossed in it.
In the movie, yeah. Because you feel like you're actually a character in the movie. Yeah. So is that like...
Yes.
Okay.
It isn't, not everybody quacks like a duck and clucks like a chicken. That's stage hypnosis, something completely different.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I have been up on stage and I'm thinking, okay, I just have to do what they want me to do because people are watching. I wonder how many people do that. Because you don't want them. But there was one time where he's like, okay, you need to go now. Because he knew I wasn't.
Exactly.
So he took me off the stage because I wasn't going to be a candidate.
They can tell.
Yeah. So continue on.
So I went through the hypnotherapy, which was really fun. And the hypnotherapist said, I don't think I can help you. I want you to go check out NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I signed up. I went to an event. I got a practitioner. And 3 hours, my life shifted overnight. And that was so incredible. I went back the next day for 3 more hours
Oh
of work.
gosh.
And then I said, I have no idea what this is, but whatever this is, I want to know at a deeper level. So I
So what did they do? Tell me what they did. Tell me what
they did something called timeline, which is the work that I do with people one-on-one, where you go back in time on your memories, both past and memories in the future.
Ooh.
And when you go back to the past, you can undo negative emotions and limiting beliefs and decisions that you've made about yourself at the unconscious level. An example, we work with anger. So I'll say to someone, hey, can you remember the first time you were angry? And people will go, yeah, it was age 4.
So then you
and I'll think,
go back.
How amazing it was. Did you skip the terrible twos? Or if I remember right, you came out of that birth canal screaming. So let's, at the unconscious mind, at the unconscious level, your mind holds so much more information and keeps you protected from traumatic events. So we go back, either this life, in the womb, before birth, ancestral memories, past life, doesn't matter. Whatever your model of the world, we call it, or whatever your reality belief is. And then we rewire limiting beliefs and decisions that you made about yourself, carry them all the way through up to now, and then we go out into the future and look at how you're acting and how your life is different, having let go of all those beliefs from the past.
I'm being hypnotized right now.
Watch the watch.
No, I'm really, no, I think I was just hypnotized. I don't know. No, because I was listening to what you said and it makes total sense. This is an example because it kind of goes with what you were saying. So there was a time, because I'm pretty open and that's who I am. There was a time when I call it my happy bubble, when I'm feeling like I'm being attacked. I don't mean physically, whether it's verbally or mentally or something like that. And I was somewhere and at an event, and I walked up to somebody who I thought, I'm going to be the bigger person, and I'm going to say, hi, like, how are you? Like, it's good. I can do this. I'm a bigger person. And I went up, and all of a sudden, the other person was just like screaming and like crazy stuff. And I literally, and I'm not, no joke, because somebody said to me years later, did you even know what they said to you? I went in this bubble and I can hear her, I can see her pointing, and I heard nothing. And I went, that was really weird. So I went and I sat down at another media table, and I sat down and I was kind of like numb, and I'm like, what just happened? And they said, did you not know what that person said? I'm like, no. And they go, you don't want to know. And I went back to my table and I was just shaky, and I'm like, I don't know what it was, but I got to let it go because I got to be on. And then years later, I met somebody who was at the event, and she said to me exactly what was said. It was horrific, but it was crazy. Like, I totally did not hear a word. So was that like my body protecting me, or what was that? Yeah. Or do I have like a special power?
Well, I like that you call it the bubble.
I call it my happy bubble.
Happy bubble.
I got to go in my happy bubble every now and then.
People don't know how to shield themselves from negative energy from another person. For example, you're in an argument with someone, you're in a conversation, all of a sudden you get a stomach ache.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big
you
time.
now took their energy on. You've got their energy. So that happy bubble, when you learn a way of protecting yourself, that's a really good thing to do. Sometimes I will tell people to start with a rose. Put a rose in front of this power section.
You mean imagine a rose.
Imagine a rose. Yeah, sorry. Imagine a rose in front of this is your solar plexus.
Where it's hurting. Like you're getting that nervousness, that achiness.
Exactly.
Like you feel like, oh my gosh, you feel horrible.
And eventually you can learn how to create
my happy bubble.
That happy bubble.
I'm telling you, that's happy bubbles protected me at least 3 times that I can honestly say it protected me.
I might borrow that one.
No, seriously,
great.
No,
it's great.
No, I am not kidding you. It was literally, we're talking Reno media people at a big event. This was not just like I'm having tea at a tea shop.
Yeah.
This was like a big deal to me. It was really important around people I really cared about. I still don't know. I don't even want to know. I mean, she told me, but even when she told me, I was like, I'm good. I moved on. It's okay.
I have another question for you. When you are in that bubble, are you watching yourself with that person, or are you looking through your own eyes?
I'm looking at them with me, but I can't hear a word they're saying.
Okay. Wow, the great protective.
Totally. I hear not one sound. It's like I don't even hear the background sound. There's nothing except her body doing its thing, and I'm like going, I don't know like what's happening.
So your unconscious mind's highest, we call them prime directives in NLP based on next gen, highest prime directive is to keep you protected. So it does that. However, at the unconscious level, it took in every single word.
I know. I don't.
What happened to your body happened to your body.
I was literally numb and shaking, and I don't even know how I finished off the evening. I just had to pull together my About Town Debbie stuff. It wasn't even About Town Deb then. I don't know. It was a while back, but
you're a pro.
But I'll never forget it. I will never forget that experience. But I feel like there's been a couple times where my body just said, you need to be protected.
Yep.
I gotcha.
That's the same thing that your mind has done with all of those decisions and limiting beliefs that you make when you're young, or past life memories or ancestral memories, whatever you believe. It does all of those. But here's what happens when you do the work. You go back and find out why you went through what you went through. It's all based on the premise that there's something powerful and positive for you to have learned about yourself.
And where you're going in the future. So all those experiences were, like they say, it's okay to fall. It's okay to fail because you're going to learn. I mean, I've used the word. What do we use? I'm just asking. That's
feedback.
Good.
I know this is great.
Say it again. So
feedback. There's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. You can't have done anything different than what you already did.
No, it already happened.
You're living your life and a crossroad comes up and you make a choice. Sometimes you make the choice and you go 2 steps down and go, whoa, not that road, and you go down this one. Sometimes you go way down the road and you go, wow, I don't like this road, but there's a whole bunch more branches. So you pick another branch, you pick another fork.
Gosh.
You can't fail. You are whole, perfect, and complete.
You're amazing.
You're not broken. You don't need fixing. There's no such thing as failure.
I love this. So we're going to take another break. And oh my gosh, I think she's just going to move in here. I don't know. It's so good. Anyway, I'm very grateful you're here. So we are going to take a break. It's Debbie McCarthy, City Talk, About Town Deb. Be right back.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate a buck to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at gratisgives.com.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now back to the show.
And welcome back. It is City Talk, About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy. Once again, I'm at the National Automobile Museum. That's just such a handful to say, but I'll, give me a year of saying it and I'll be like rocking it out there. So we are in Reno, Nevada, right by the river. So if you are visiting Northern Nevada, make the National Automobile Museum a stop. You will be amazed when you come in. And I am here with Alexanne Stone, and we've been having a very intriguing, she's been hypnotizing me. I told her I couldn't be. It is amazing. We're talking body language. And we were going to talk about networking later on the show, but I think that's going to be another show because there's too much here. And you're so insightful and you're so calming. And maybe that's why I'm being hypnotized. So anyway, I'm going to go into some of the topics because I really feel like we can chat about us all the time. But I think this is something important about body language. We're all out and about. And we're all with family, with friends, you're dating or you're getting married or you're in a business meeting or whatever it is. I talk with my hands. As you could see, I'm doing my hands. I'm a big body. I'm very out there. So I want to ask you, is your body language helping or hurting you when you're like leading like in a group or in a meeting? Is it helping or hurting you? Like me, I'm like this. It could be hurting me if it's a very like serious meeting. Like maybe I should be like this.
This is a good question. First of all, to become conscious of what your body language is doing is really important because that really helps. One of the things that's interesting is they studied the top TED Talks, Simon Sinek's talk on leadership, Brene Brown. They found that the TED Talks that have the most hits have the most gestures. So talk away. Talk away with your hands.
Could be dangerous.
Well, this one can be
SWAT microphones.
I know I'm swatting them too.
I know me too. You're talking. I'm trying to like sit on my hands right now.
Oh no,
I can't. It doesn't. I can't even do that. I'm like bouncing then.
I know. There are certain gestures that do carry certain meanings, and this is one of them.
That means you're upset, right?
It could just mean who did this in our youth.
Your parents.
Your parents or your teacher or something like that.
My dad.
So it has an unconscious meaning for us.
Yeah.
So you'll see that there's a Disney point that's 2 fingers. I don't really do this one.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
That means I'm not doing this.
Oh, it's like
I'm doing this. So if I'm pointing at you,
I'm not. I'm trying to do it nicely.
Yeah, you're doing it nicely.
Instead of doing this, I'm going to do 2 fingers.
Well, you can do 2 fingers, or most people do this.
Oh, I have seen that lately.
Thumb down. Yeah,
thumb
down, thumb even. So yeah, most people do this for pointing. So if I'm going to point at someone or making a point, now I will make a point this way, but I'm pointing up, right? I'm not pointing at you.
Okay.
I can make a point. Here's something really important.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's different than this.
It is very different from that. Yeah. So there's something too, I love this, called invitational hands. Invitational hands are open. Our hands are a signal. If someone says raise your hands, you've got nothing in your hands, you're safe, right? I'm open. You can trust me.
Oh, like a policeman, like put your hands up.
Yes. Yeah. They do that because they're afraid there's something in their hands. Oh. So open hands indicate honesty and openness. There's a very big difference in the way gestures feel, and invitational hands are inviting. So I'm inviting you to do something. I would invite you to work with me. So if you watch my body language right there, I just did this hand is open, this hand invites you in, and my head is going, work with me.
Totally, yeah. So if a person, because I'm a big hugger. And I'm a big, like, when I meet, there we go. Hello, people. Attention. Deb's a hugger. I'm like open arms. And we were actually out and about last night with Jazzy Georgia. And we were out doing, Biggest Little Pass stuff and working. And there's a new Midtown Wine Bar is now going to be a new bar, Midtown Spirits and Wine and Bites. Okay. So the sign was up, but I knew they weren't open, but I'm like, I'm just going to go look. So I'm like, oh, the guy goes, come in. I'm like, oh, okay. So when I brought Georgia in, he goes, hello, I'm like, oh, I'm Debbie. And I go, I'm a hugger. And he went, okay, I'm a hugger. But I have to be careful because some people aren't a hugger. And I could tell by their body language. So if I'm going in like, hey, and I see them go like this, they kind of back off. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not here or whatever. I'll adjust to the motion. So, I mean, you got to be careful. So is that another point? Like when you're in a meeting or at a group, you have to look at their body language. Is this somebody that's going to be open? And with COVID, we couldn't do it. Yeah. We had to be really careful. But that was hard on us hugger people, COVID.
You can always ask. One. I'm a hugger. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah. And I said I'm a hugger. And then they're like, of course, I'm a hugger.
It's interesting for you already spotting that body language.
Oh, and that backs me on. I'm like, okay, I don't want to I want this account. Back off.
Yeah.
So
smart.
So the other thing was with your voice, because I was looking at another point. You said body language includes your voice. What hidden meanings are you saying out loud?
Yeah, your voice is very interesting.
Is mine interesting?
Yours is interesting.
Why?
It's good because it's fun and energetic and authentic and open. And so you could imagine if I really wanted something from you and I asked you up here, if I was inviting you to work with me and my tone of voice was up here and I was speaking this quickly, would you anticipate, or I can't even fake it. See how my eyebrows go up?
I know. It doesn't look like you.
Your body belies.
That totally was not you. I'm like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
I'd be like, what happened to you? Are you like, have too much caffeine? No.
How fast you talk, how slow you talk, how fast some people people process their in pictures, sounds, and feelings. And through the way they process, you can gain insight through the body language that goes with how they process, the language they actually use when they process, and the speed and timbre, pitch of voice that they use too. So if Deb, you and I if I'm going to call you and I get a voicemail from you that says, hey, this is Deb, leave me a message. And I say, hi, this is Alexanne. I'm calling because we were going to do the show together. Remember the podcast? You'd be like, oh my gosh, click.
Okay, I'm going to keep it real here. This is going to be a really emotional.
Okay.
For the years that I didn't speak. So Christian knows, a lot of other people in the radio industry know, when I first started, I literally could not even say my name. I couldn't say hello on the phone. I mean, I'm being dead serious here, guys. I can pick up the phone and go, and my whole throat's frozen. And going through years of therapy and speech, none of it really helped. It just goes away sometimes and it comes back. It also depends on my stress level, the people I'm around, the people who are in your bubble. But what I'm saying is that that I would go to make a phone call, and I'd pick up the phone, let's say to call the doctors to make an appointment, and I'd go, and they'd be like, click. And I'm like, okay, try it again. Dial, before you ring. And I'm like, click. And my whole body was like aching, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to do it. So I literally would not make a phone call. I would not make a doctor's appointment. It'd take me weeks to think about making that one call. So for me, when I hear that, it's hard because I was that person who would try to leave a message, and I'm like, oh, I can't. Like I would be almost in tears. Like it was horrible. Then all of a sudden, like I don't know what happened. I was in a better state, loving what I'm doing, and life is happy, and I'm grateful. So, but it could happen at any time. I mean, I've done it. I mean, I could stop or stammer a little bit, and I could do the phone. It could come back. So, I mean, I don't know what that means, but I'm just saying that I know that I'm always sensitive to somebody who does that.
Yeah.
Because I think that could have been me.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's having a hard time, I just wait and go, I'm here.
Oh, that's so great.
Because I totally know I hate it when people hung up on me. It was very scary. I literally cry. I would cry.
That is really interesting.
I'm just being honest.
You're not the only person I've run into who's actually said this. And so it would take a deeper dive to find out where that came from and where it has to do with some belief about yourself.
I already got a stomach ache now just saying it.
Yes.
Where's that rose? Where's that rose? I need that rose. No, but I'm just saying that I understand the whole voice thing. So even like I just shared this, so who knows what the rest of the show is going to be like. I may just go pass out here. I don't know. But anyways, so your tone and your speed.
Your tone and your speed.
It makes a big difference.
Play a big difference. So if, in fact, see, what you have is a skill that people want to learn how to develop, and that is to put yourself in the shoes of another person. Not necessarily having gone through what they've gone through traumatically, however, understanding where they are. So you being able to slow yourself down enough to be with that person in their world. That's a skill, Deb.
Thank you.
That's a big skill.
It's really important to me. I mean, I really feel for people. Like you can ask Georgia. She always says, "Oh, there she goes." If I see someone in the street, I'm like, "Okay, they just like dropped something. We have to stop the car." She's like, "We're in traffic." I'm like, "No, we cannot stop on the freeway." No, So I'm glad I have people around me to say that wouldn't have been too safe. But I really do. I think because of, like you say, from what you grew up with, it affects how you treat people and how you're being treated, or what you allow to be treated.
Does. So it's an interesting thing, because part of my story is when I came out of that childhood, I was equally abusive, because that was what I learned. Wow. You learn how to respond to something like that. My sister is so marshmallowy sweet and gentle, and so I'm really strong and solidly driven in a different way. She's really a successful person in her own right. And we just often have these conversations about how we grew differently out of the same environment. And yet, that what you learn as that skill, Deb, that is so powerful. I have a coaching program. I just launched a new one today.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is what people are talking about. How do I become a communicator at a deeper level? How do I create that compassion, that empathy for another human being and be with them in their world instead of in mine?
I totally love that. Oh my God, it's time for a break again. What the heck?
No more breaks.
No more breaks. Yeah, we need a break because I need to have some water, because I gotta find that rose and put it on my tummy right here. Breathe. So we're going to take another break. We're going to come back. We're going to continue on this topic because there's many more things we're going to talk about. It's about time Deb City Talk. We'll be right back.
After having my child, I was just thinking that I wanted to kind of get back to the size I was when I was breastfeeding. When I first came in, I didn't know if I wanted to go under or over, what size I wanted. I feel like they really took the time to educate me on all of my options. I've had a bunch of different questions. Paul himself has called and checked in with me. I was really expecting to be in a lot more pain than I was. It was a lot more pleasant than I was expecting it to be.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The Stones are bringing me a baby brother!
We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada. I'm here with Alexanne Stone. Oh my gosh. The universe brought us back together. See, I'm already going off the rails because I was at one of my appointments, and what's the name of the little
Lakeside Bar and Grille on Lakeside in Atlanta.
Yeah,
that place.
So really keeping it personal. When I have an appointment, I get my waxing done right next door. I'm real, and so I always plan it where I can go have something to eat, and they have the best Chinese chicken salad. It's like a treat for me, and I just hang out by myself, have my salad, and in you walk. I'm like, whoa, I love Reno for that. Yeah. And you get to reconnect with people, and then I'm like, oh, you have to be on my show, and I had no idea. What a blessing. So thank you, because this is so important in what we're talking about. Yeah. And because this is our last segment, I thought I had 2 more. It went by so fast because I was hypnotized. So before I do that, I'm going to say my quote because I'm trying to be really consistent this year, and I've really been good about my quotes, and I'm trying to be consistent with my social media. So you can follow me at About Town Deb, just throwing it out there. So quote of the week: I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. And that's Mother Teresa, by the way. I love that quote.
That's what you're doing.
And you know what's crazy? Not crazy. Nothing's really crazy, but interesting. George and I volunteered at Dulce Vita Spa to pour my wine for one of their events on the holidays. And it was so cold and so windy. We were shaking. And so Nyla goes, you girls, you should come in for a massage. This is my gift for you because you were out here all day in the cold. I'm like, okay, thank you. So when you walk in the spa, there's a bowl and you pick a stone. And they have patience, kindness, breathe, different, words to meditate on. So I picked breathe because my watch always tells me breathe. I don't breathe. I don't know how I'm still here, but it says breathe. So I picked up breathe. And then when you walk into the area, when you walk in the door, there's this beautiful water kind of fountainy thing. And so they want you to hold your stone and think about leaving everything behind you when you're walking into the spa. So if you go to Dulce Vita Spa, you're going to love it because you're going to pick your word. And mine was breathe. So I put it in, then they tell you to gently drop it, and the water rippled. And now, mind you, I had picked this quote before I did that.
Oh, wow.
So
nothing happens by accident.
It happens. So anyway, I just had to share that.
I know. I got to say, Nyla Allen is an amazing woman.
Is she just?
Isn't it that spot? Her eye for beauty is off the charts.
You see, I mean, every single thing was picked out by hand.
I know
everything, and she waited until everything was perfect.
I know. Can we just hire you and you come in and you help us?
Yeah, she's incredible.
She is incredible.
So, and also before we get, because I know we still have 8 minutes, but it goes by fast. I just want to make sure we get your information out there. I know it's on the screen, but tell us how we can get a hold of you, because I know we all need to tune up our little intuition and our stuff.
There's a couple of things you can do. I have a website, and it's alexannestone.com. And on the website, there's a couple of quizzes. There's one called Kick-Ass Networking or Networking Pro
Okay,
Quiz.
we are totally going to come back for that. We don't even have time for that now. But we're
Communication Pro Quiz is a really good one to find out where you are with body language, with linguistics.
Okay.
And then you can schedule a complimentary 30 minutes with me or.
I love that.
Yeah. And then we talk about you during that time.
Who?
You.
Me?
We find out. Yeah. Well, I'll take a look at the results of your quiz.
Oh, so that helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. And then we talk about you, where you are, and what you want to do. So I do coach. I coach group coaching, one-on-one, and of course, I love speaking. My happy place is with a microphone on the stage.
You know what's really funny is that I literally would go up on a stage and pass out in all my days of doing this, and now it's funny. People give me a mic, and I'm like, I got it. I just used to not be able to say my name. They would introduce me, and then I'm fine. But if they said, "Hey, introduce yourself," I'd go, and I'd pass out. But if they said my name first, I was fine. That's why I know I never liked my name. That's why I want to be Sue.
I think for me, my greatest joy is watching another person step into their own greatness. That's the thing that
I know, me
fills
too.
me up.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, and on stage, you're impacting a whole bunch of people. It's so much fun.
No, it is. And every time I'm on stage, when I get off stage, I have no idea what I said.
I know, me.
I'm in a bubble.
Channeling.
I channel, whatever.
That's it.
But we got some cool.
Okay,
we're going to go on this because this is kind of a big deal. How do you know if somebody's lying to you? I just had to throw that one out there because I know there's a gut feeling thing, but tell me about that other one first.
Yeah, there's a gut feeling thing.
But tell me about the lying thing. How do you know?
You want to know a baseline. So there are some automatic tells a lot of times when people are lying or people are holding something back, and one of them is covering your mouth when you're saying something. A lot of times,
like you're going like this,
like
you're
this.
putting your head down. You're kind of,
You could even just go like that before you say something, and you want to pay attention to these little. We call them micro expressions. A lot of times, a little eye slit or something will belie what it is that you're getting
looking
ready
around
to say.
The room. Kristen, how you doing today?
One of the most important things, though, is that you want to establish a baseline with a person first.
So
how do they act normally? So if you were having a conversation and then all of a sudden I zap you with, did you rob a store or do whatever?
And I'm like, how did you know?
Yeah.
I did not rob a store. I don't even jaywalk. There you go.
I jaywalk.
I don't jaywalk.
Oh, wow.
I have, amazing. But I got a ticket. No, I got a ticket for it once when I was in high school. So I never forgot it.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
I know. I got a ticket for jaywalking in high school. Like everybody else was to go get Doritos at the fast food place, whatever.
So you'll see on television a lot, or interrogators a lot, will first come in and ask you, hey, how are you? What are you doing?
The questions that are easy to answer.
Easy questions to answer. And then when they ask slap them with the hard question, they watch very carefully for how that person's body language changes. And simple things like leaning forward and leaning back are indicators.
So I'm like leaning forward listening.
Yeah, you are.
So what is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
So if I kind of went like, okay, I'm just going to like turn sideways here because she's going to ask me a question. I really don't want to answer. So I'm going to pretend I'm not listening.
Yeah.
If somebody turned to me, I'd be like, okay, something's up.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're still like looking at you like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Like you're excited versus somebody going, okay, I got to go. Like,
Yeah. There's something going on. And so through asking questions, you can find out what it is. But most of us tend to mind read. We're back at mind reading again. And we think something means something. So for example, we're at an event and I'm looking around you. I'm not paying attention to you. What do you mind read? Oh, this person's not interested. Yeah. Well, what if I was expecting a guest and I'm looking around for the guest? But you mind read that I'm not interested in you, and you conclude our conversation.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
I could see that.
We mind read like crazy.
Interesting.
Can I do a quick sales?
Do it.
Sales
No.
Okay, we're in a sales conversation. We're both leaning in. We're having a great conversation, and you say a closing question to me, like, when do you want to do?
Okay.
Or this is going to cost this much to you.
So I would love you to sponsor the show. It's $4.99 minimum for just the bare basics, but $6.50 for everything. I would love you to join. What do you think?
What did I just do?
You backed off.
I backed off, right. So now what happens? I don't say anything. I'm going to count on you renegotiating in your head with yourself. uh-oh, did I ask for too much? Do you think she doesn't have that? She can't afford it. Maybe I should ask for a little bit more. Maybe I should get a half sponsorship. I wonder if I
is it better just to be quiet?
Yeah, because you asked a closing question.
And it's for you to think about.
It's for me to think about. And there's a little saying in the sales word, the first person who talks loses.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know what I'm doing body language wise, or because I understand what just took place, you're the one who knows. You see me lean back. The tendency is for you to negotiate with yourself. You can ask
lean back up so we can hear you though. Lean back up.
So you can ask me a question because of my leaning back. You could say, hey, what are your thoughts so far? It's not a yes-no question.
We just got a good tip out there, guys.
Yeah. It's not a yes-no question. It's an open-ended question. And then you don't say anything else. You wait for me to answer.
Man, this body. See, but if you know the body language, you can really negotiate way better. So we have time for probably one more. Let's see. Every slight movement of someone's head has meaning. We were talking about that little. How can somebody spot hidden emotions? We only a quick one on this.
Quick one, yeah. So depending upon what's going on with the way the head is moving, this is interested. This is not necessarily. So the head moves in all different kinds of ways while we're talking. And while your head's moving, there's all different things that are going on.
And your eyes, and your
eyes, your brows,
your eyebrows, your smile,
the nostrils on your nose.
Ooh, that's if you're getting like a bull and getting angry.
Your skin, the color of your skin shifts and changes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
What you do with your lips, what you do with your eyes, people down to the littlest tick. Poker players, poker
they wear sunglasses because they don't want people to see their
pupils, because that's the only thing we can't control.
Oh.
Yeah. So your little eye just went like that.
It did? What did that mean?
It wasn't a wink. It just was a...
Was I winking?
No, you weren't winking. It just... When you watch it back, you'll see it just went like,
what was that
was interesting.
Oh, because it was interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so cool. Oh my gosh. It's almost time. So your website one more time.
AlexanneStone.com.
Spell that.
AlexanneStone.com.
A lot of times people spell their names differently. So please, you have to check out her website. We are going to have you back because I promised you we were going to talk about kick-ass networking topics. That's another show. So stay tuned for that. Remember out there, guys, be kind to one another. Remember, together we're one heart. It's About Town Deb. Thank you, Alexanne. You totally rocked my world today. I enjoyed this so much. So if you're listening, contact Alexanne. Go to About Town Deb. I pointed, but in a nice way.
Now
I'm feeling AboutTownDeb.com. We'll see you next week.